Conjugate Chronicles, episode 12. Thinking we might get a new name next week for the weekly video, but we'll see what happens. Here is my dynamic effort bench day. 145 for 16 triples. I started to get rid of waving my bench. I like the added volume that the 16 sets give me, and the fatigue that I feel I don't really get that much from the lower sets when I go down to 12 and then down to 9 for the 3-week wave. So I'm going to maintain, I'm just going to change the exercise every week for the dynamic upper body movement. So if this was a bow bar, a 145 I think I used. We're going to see if that pays off, because I think, like I said, the added volume is going to pay over time. Here's Steve with 245 for 10. This should be called the volume episode because we have a ton of it going on. Steve does a good job driving up through. He's got a relatively close grip, which is nice. He's inside. He's right outside his shoulders. But I heard Matt Wenning talk a little bit in a form video on the bench, and that's where you want to be, because you want that elbow in line with the wrist, and you want to be able to drive up through. He's a big proponent of calling the bench a tricep and back movement, where you see a lot of raw lifters call it a pec movement. So I don't know. I think he's right. So we'll see if we keep going here. Like I said, my lower body's a little beat up. The back. Here's some kettlebell stiff legs. The only reason I sit on those, the bench and the box, is the range of motions. These actually did light up my hamstrings, though. They were tight for a couple days, so it's a movement I'm going to go back to. Here's Steve with his 5+ day. 385 for 5. Good speed off the floor, finishing very strong. I'm happy to see that Steve's not having any knee cave on these sets, because that's definitely something that he faults to. Those knees cave in hard, and normally he's back a little bit there, but he's good. Good form over a long period of time will cure a lot. Here's Kyle's brutal 10x10. He's still kicking it. 285 for 10x10. He said that he stuck a lot of his sets here in conventional. Normally he does 5 sumo, 5 conventional. But I think he said he did about 7 or 8 conventional here, and that kind of lit him up later in the week. But I could only imagine what that feels like, 10 sets of 10 doing anything. Here's my GPP day for my lower body. These are my belt walks. I have 10-pound ankle weights on too. This is a tremendous glute exercise for me. My butt is on fire every time I do these. I go for about 1.5 to 2 minutes, and it gets the job done. Gets blood in all the right areas. Here's our max effort day. We have 2 mini bands on there. Tyler was working with the slingshot, 3 sets of 1, and I was working without it. Here's our secondary movement. It was incline shoulder saver. I've switched it because I waved that for 3 weeks. Now I'm going to flat bench. Really, like I said before in the last couple videos, I feel a ton of tension in the triceps, and that's what I'm trying to build up. So we're going to hammer that out for another 2 weeks after this. Here is Steve's press day. Working at Metro Gym. He's a big proponent of the public gyms. He loves it. He's rocking the Spring 2015 edition 908 barbell hoodie. He does a good job driving his head through there. He likes to pause at the top. You don't see that a lot. Normally guys will pause in the bottom of a press. Steve likes to pause and gather himself at the top, but he does a good job finishing up through. Here is Kyle's bench day, 175 for 10x10. He's laying on a custom-made bench by a buddy of ours named Matt Vangelli. Matt owns his own bike company, motorcycle bikes that is, and he created that bench. He's got the fat pad on it. It's pretty awesome. So if you're in the area, look up Brass Knuckle Cycles and give him a shout. Here is just trying to get a little volume in my legs, not trying to get compression in my spine. So we did some banded belt squats with some chain around my neck. There's a pretty impressive feat of strength. Here's Sammy doing 225 squat presses. You can call them thrusters. It's a full body movement, and it's a lot of weight to be thrown around. Sammy does a good job getting up through and driving his head up. It's a front squat with a press. It's tough. I challenge you to try it with that weight and see how it goes for you. Here's Steve. He's working with the safety squat bar. Safety squat bar is a little bit different than a regular squat bar. It takes the stress off your shoulders. It sits higher on your back, Really challenges your upper back in the later sets or later reps. But he is running a 5-3-1 cycle with this bar in his squat just to change things up, because I know he said his shoulders were beat up from the pressing and the benching, so it'll give him a little bit of a break. And he gets the added benefit of using this bar to build up his deadlift, because this is a good bar to use if you're trying to build up your back. Here's my form pulls, just working on positioning, really pulling my lats down. I have a hard time not engaging my lats on the deadlift. You'll see I just crank right there. I kind of crank them in. That gets my chest up. I'm going to have to respect that range of motion I have. So I'm not going to be going much lower than probably 3 inches off the mats. Here's Kyle's 10 by 10. It's like a marathon. This is the first session that I've actually seen him and been in the same room of his 10 by 10, and it just looks god awful. But he hammers up through. One good thing about the program, he says he can eat whatever he wants. He's burning enough calories. He's got over 27,000 pounds of volume today. That's pretty impressive. So I will check you guys next week. Stay healthy, stay safe, and keep lifting. See ya.